$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Malaikum, sisters and brothers. Suman Rahim here, that's from Covenant. Breaking 7 seals. Okay, again, this is Farrakhan speaking. He says his fathers are white, Caucasian, Portuguese Jew. Here's the link. See for yourself. That's him talking. 1996, April 26th. And the link is also in the description, brothers and sisters. Oh, you argue with it. That's his daddy. And that's his real name, Louis Eugene Grounds, not Walcott. Walcott was not his father. That's another distortion, right? He turned NY backwards. That's why he said the scriptures are very clear. They give you names of people. They said last leader of God name would be Trump. The messenger, right, that was set up for the messenger to come would be named Elijah. I mean, there's a lot of things like that in there. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. The great betrayal. I can speak about that more now but there's still some items I can't talk about yet because it has to be fulfilled. I'm not going to disturb that because I give those who are part of this information that they can be more subtle, more secretive, right? Because they already identified. They just don't know it yet. Great betrayal. Now, see, it's not just the Son of Man being betrayed, it's the nation being betrayed. Many betrayals, they're talking about a specific one, right? There's many betrayals. See, we had confusion. I mean, they gave us their mind. That was maximum confusion. But then you had another form of confusion. See? Because our people had some knowledge what they went through, even though I was confused about it, but it wasn't good. Because you can see that in those papers that Oprah, slave paper, I think they call it slave papers or something like that there. I forgot the name they call it. But she did, what happened was, and then she sponsored this I guess you call it not a program, but it's this effort to go back and look to capture as much information you could about what happened during so-called, they call it slavery, the Holocaust. She commissioned, that's what she commissioned this task. What it was, there were still people still alive that experienced the direct Holocaust. I mean, you know. And so they went and tried to rather look and find as many people they could, like some of the 80s and 90s years old, and had them tell their experience. And they wrote it down. And those, well, I don't know if it's still out there or not. It was out there on the internet for quite a while. I think it's still there. And was telling you, I mean, these people was telling you, just firsthand, you know, they're dead now. But they're firsthand, this is what they actually experienced. And it's dramatic. But remember, this mostly at the end. Right? And so you didn't get the full impact. You get the full impact. So the thing is that there's a lot of stuff wasn't told, and the only way you get that is you have to go back and find history of people who wrote down those things that they hide now. It's like the so-called Mormons, right? Okay. Now they have a good history of what happened back then, but they won't reveal it to you. What they do reveal this to you is that they kept records of the so-called census. In other words, that it was see, remember we were animals, and so they had what do you call it? I forget what they call it, but they have like, I don't know what you call it, but you know how they kept, in other words, they would have I don't know what you call it, records, on what they own and all that stuff, right? Or if I got so many sheep, I got so many this, so many that. And you will count amongst the animals, what they own, their property. Legends of their property, I guess you might call it. And so, and the names, and if you was sold to someone else, they kept records of all of that. That's how they go to ancestry. They go back and say, you give information. They go back and once they identify who you are nowadays and connect you back to their records of, right? Then they go back and say, okay, you was sold to this person, whatever. And a lot, even if you look at that, there's so much information there that would, if you was interested, was just shut right out, because first of all, you had no last names. The name you had was the name of slave master. So if your slave master was named Smith, all the slaves there was named Angie Smith, Janet Smith, Tommy Smith, Jacob Smith, because that was the designate that you were owned by Master Smith. Because you was just called by Toby, James, or whatever. That's what you was called. You had no last name. But if you was outside, they might question you. Hey, what's your boy? What's your name, boy? My name is Toby. What plantation you from? Well, I'm from Master Smith's plantation. Okay. See, and that's how I knew, because you had that Smith part. So they said, okay. And initially, I don't know how long they did it. Some slave masters continued doing it all to the end. They would actually brand you, just like they brand cattle. They put the slave brand on you, so Smith, so everybody know, hey, he belonged to Smith. So when you walk around these names, you don't understand, and that shows the degree of the mindset they've given you, that you don't realize that you're really mocking yourself, and you're actually really saying that you properly, when you walk around and say, my name is James Smith, my name is Jesse Jackson, what you're saying is, I'm owned by Jackson, Mr. Master Jackson. That's what you're saying. Now, you may not like saying that, but that's not what you're saying. So that's what you're saying back then, and that is carried over now. The only difference is that, right, you don't realize the purpose of that name. So therefore, you accept it. They force that name on you. In fact, they even tell you in that first Roots program, they tell you. Remember, what's the name? Right, they tell, what's your name? Your name is Toby. Your name, they forced their name on him. So why would you want to keep that name? Well, now, if you slave master's child, see, that's what the problem is. See, in other words, if you a rape child and they call you Toby Jackson, then that is your name. That is your name. Because Jackson's your daddy. When he was out in the field, that was just to say he was owned by Jackson. So you identifying yourself, because a time is coming soon that there will be a separation between slave masters' children, skinfolk, and kinfolk. There's going to be a separation very soon. Very soon. And so you kind of like outline, you kind of like tell everybody, I'm master's child. That's what you're saying. If you walk around, you're Jesse Jackson, you saying my name, I'm master's child. That's my daddy. Remember staying while they had back where they said, Jefferson, Sally Fields, I guess the name was. They try to make like some kind of romance. I don't know, romance. I mean, see how what they do. He was raping her. She was a slave. So they had children by her. And now those were his children. They were black face, but they demons, half devil, half man. And so therefore they had the same nature as he has. His had the complexion of their mama, because age is their complexion, going to change your nature. You might have some affect your nature, but it doesn't change your nature. Like I got a son, he acts like his mama. He still got my nature, but he does act like his mama a lot. But still, he has my nature, because the seed is, that's how you start out as a seed. You start as a sperm, you start as a seed. And nothing in the world she can do, the egg can change that. It can affect it. Like you put a seed in the ground can affect it. It could be, if the ground is rich, the seed will come strong. If the ground is weak, right? Then it might come out crooked. It's still going to come out orange. If you put it in orange, it'll come out orange. That's going to be his nature. Nothing in the ground could change his seed into anything else but orange. It could be a good orange, a bad orange, bitter orange, but still a bit orange. So the ground has an effect on it, but it can't change its nature. So you walk around telling everybody, hey, I'm master, because that's what you're saying if you carry the name. Yeah, I'm master child. So maybe you are. That is your name. And that's confusion. And we have to separate that. But we got two different natures, but one is pretending to be. So they're enemy. They're pretending. See? Some ain't pretending. But the point is that you got a conflict because they hate you. The demons hate you. They think you're stupid. They call you niggers. They say you're stupid, you're ignorant. You should act more like daddy. Act more like the devils. That was the boy's thing. So in other words, if they tell you should act differently, that means they hate you. When somebody tells you to act differently, that means they hate you unless you act other than yourself. They're trying to get you to act who you really are. But they're trying to, if you have you acting differently, that means they hate you. Because why would they want to change you if they love you? If they love you, they wouldn't want to change you. Somebody wants to change you, that means they hate you or hate the way you are. There's difference, right? Because the way you are is other than yourself, right? Then they're trying to, just like you wash something off, right? You wash it off because you don't like the way it looks, because you want it to be like it's supposed to be. But if it's shit, you see what I'm saying? Wash it off ain't gonna do any good because it's still gonna be shit. It's a difference. See? And it's different the way you approach. Your approach to that. Because you're saying, okay, right? I'm here, right? To put you back in your original condition. I'm to restore you. See? Because you like you're homeless, something, I'm gonna restore you back, right? That's the difference. Because I'm here to help you. I'm your Messiah. I'm your friend. If I come here to change you, I don't like the way you are, and you like the way you are, and I hate you. And they hate us because they change us 100%. See, these are things that you won't come to recognize, because right now you would recognize them if you were thinking, but that's the thing they will not allow you to do. Under threat of death, you start thinking and they see it, and they see it in you, they'll do everything they can to stop it, and that's it. If man put you in prison or killing you. I don't want that. They would do that to me if they could protect it. See? But you're not, because you don't know how to protect yourself. There's a certain protection you're getting, but you don't recognize it. because your natural nature is a certain protection. But you guess it. You're beating yourself up. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So, so we're gonna go into some of this betrayal. See, one of the major target of the betrayal is the mention of the covenant. Because you would think the mention of the covenant would be high on Farrakhan's list. It's not on his list at all. Never mention it. Never mention the covenant. This is not a coincidence. I mean, you say, well, why don't he even mention the covenant? Anything that has to do with the mention of the covenant, he's totally not he just don't. Not that he just disregards it or don't mention it. No, he attacks it. He attacks it. Well, how do you say he attacks? Well, if he says there's no mention of covenant, if he tells you Elijah's last messenger, didn't he tell you there's no mention of covenant? He tells you that guy don't even exist. Then on top of it, he's calling God a liar. You see, the point is that right now we know it's total darkness because these things are so clear. Like, you know this person is blind because you see tigers and snakes all around him, and he's just standing there smiling. So you know he's blind because it's so clear. They're all around him, they about to devour him, he's just smiling. And same thing. That's how you know we're in intense darkness, because these things are so clear, and yet still people, they with Farrakhan when there's no scripture that supports him whatsoever. Everything, and the message of the covenant, he tells you, oh, the Exodus is all about us. But then when it comes to we ain't going anywhere, God's a liar. The covenant, there's no covenant, and we're wicked. Right? So by saying that, they're saying that we don't deserve it. Reward. Because there's no reward for us, according to him, because we're sinful. In fact, we're black and ugly and big lips and big lips because we're so sinful. That's why he said, we got him saying, I'm going to play it later. Everything he says is totally against us, accusing our brethren. You see? So there's no covenant, there's no measure of the covenant. Yet still God made a covenant. He says he reached the first part, so that means he said it applies to us. Oh, if Abraham's seed, he mentioned that part, but then when it comes to the reward part, no. Don't mention that whatsoever. How can you say that? How can you read those read part of the book and this thing the other? They run the Quran. The Quran tells you that there's a grievous chastisement for those people. Most grievous. So how does he get away with it? I mean, I just showed you. You said, well, damn, how did he sit there? How did he stand there, man? Don't you see those snakes around him? Right? Don't you see buzzards coming in? Don't you see that lion sneak up on him? Because he's blind. And our people, it says, you're mentally blind. Because you got data that's totally against you. All the data, everything they've told you is a lie. They haven't told you, they haven't taught you about anything. I mean, it's remarkable. Because you say, wow, no. The only truth you get is the mathematics of this technology. Right? But this technology itself is a lie. See? You'll find out in a minute. But everything I told you is a lie, and we can prove it. Because you said, like I said, you say, I mean, don't say elephant, don't say, the lions sneak up on him, don't you say rats? No, because he's blind. Don't see, even though it's clear, because their eyes see. And anyone who has an angel can see this clearly. But our people can't see any because that shows that something's wrong here. See? And so they attack you on two levels. First, you totally, that's why last time you eat the wrong food. They're talking about mental food. And mental food is your data. So they got you eating pork. All pork is bad for you, isn't it? Isn't all pork bad for you? Is some of it good? But same thing with this data. You know, all the data gave you is bad. It's all pork data. That's why it says in the lesson they taught you to eat the wrong food. That's about, read it carefully, it's about this data. And so everything they gave you is bad. All the food they gave you is bad. All the mental food they gave you is bad. That's data. And so therefore, right? Now, they can come at two levels. You can get somebody bad food, and you can double down, right? By going in and giving poison stuff to poison their system. So even if the food, if they get past the food, the system is all messed up too. Two levels, that same thing. That's why they give you drugs and stuff. That's poison to your brain. Starts your brain. So therefore, even if you was able to get good data, you wouldn't be able to process it. So in other words, if you can give you cancer, even if you get good food, what good is it gonna do? You got good food, but it gives you cancer. You understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? And this is the thing. I'm not exaggerating here. I'm telling you exactly what's happened to you. Because like I said, you say this stuff is totally clear. And if you look at it, you can't argue with it. No one's been able to argue with me. They send me bad and nasty grant and stuff. But I say I get $5,000. The same thing I'm saying is wrong. They can't argue with me because but the point is still go along with it. That shows they're blind. Same thing I would say. That's why I don't want. That's when I'm gonna get to that in a minute, right? That's why I don't want anybody to come here because the scripture is very clear. My path is very detailed. It's more detailed than you know because you don't understand the scripture that well. It's more detailed you know. It tells me exactly the GPS exactly showing how to get there, what to look for. Right? So like it tells me, there's only gonna be 3 people with you, 3 males. So the 4th one comes up, I know something going on. Why tell me things like that? They give me certain other things that I'm not going to speak on because, like I said, I know where I'm going. I don't want to tell my enemy what my destination is, so he's sitting there waiting for me. So, like I said, they tell certain things, and so I know. Right? It's just like it says that the resurrection would take place until the 4 winds blow. They would. So if I get followers before that, then something's wrong with them, ain't they? Unless that prophecy is wrong. I said, I don't want followers. Because that's trouble. They said it'd be 3. Okay. I accept that, but there was even questions on that. They ain't say do it, but they advised you should cut the tree down. It is, So, right? I mean, none of this stuff is telling me what to do. Just tell me what scenario's like. What I'm up against. So I might have to decide how I navigate. Like I said, you can give me GPS, I can get someplace, but I got to decide if I want, because you're going to GPS, you can say, well, do you want to take the highways, you want to take the byways or whatever, right? So you can choose, you still get there. So they tell me exactly what it looks like. I know my destination. So I can decide if I want to take this path or that path. So I'm inclined to take the path that's more favorable to the females. They deserve it. They went out to wait for us. I'm going to wait for them. Anybody don't like it, that's their problem. I was getting ready to say, ooh. So I told him, you clean your mouth up. I said, yeah, okay. You clean the shit up the way you get us out of this lake of shit. Right? And I stop smelling like shit. You told me I'm in a lake of shit. You tell me, you smell like shit. Well, how am I smelling in a lake of shit? Understand, brothers and sisters? So the thing is, and it says they will not. So so if you come, people. if they come here, that means they're not right. So it tells me. But it says you got to go for 30-some years before it happens. So, damn. See, I didn't know that at first. It took me a little while to figure it out. I knew it would be a whole bunch of years that a few months in, so, oh, damn. I said, I ain't asked to do this. And I don't even want to do it. And the worst is yet to come. I'm saying, damn, why? Can they put somebody younger? I'm 77 now. The worst is yet to come. And so I got to spend a good part of my day just keep myself in shape to get the job done. But I could cop out and say, oh, man, I'm just too old. I'm tired. I can't bend over, man, and hard. You see, I could use that as an excuse. 77, right? I'm too old, man. It's hard to get up out of bed, man. Right? I don't feel good, man. See? It's too much, man. I could. I know 5 years, 77, they can be younger than that. But I said, hey, I'm going to get the job done so I get 100%. And my wife told me, she said, you should slow down. I said, how can I do that? The people depend on me. I hate going to the gym. In fact, I bought me a gym and put it in my house. I could even do more. I hate doing every second of it. Every bit. And the fasting, all that stuff. So now, I know it has to be done to get this job done. Because our people need it. And a promise was made to them, and that promise is going to be kept. And worse is yet to come. Elijah Muhammad, I mentioned, Elijah Muhammad came out of the theology of time. And this young brother time, right? Because I was about 23 at the time when I got there, right? Because he came out there, I think, 73 or 74. I think he did theology time between 73 and 74. So I'd been about 24 years old when the time. And so, you know, he do Q&A. The place be packed. I remember, like I said, we had people all up down Stony Island, all outside there. So they put me on security outside, you know, to keep everything in line. People weren't getting over by cars. It was out on the street, everything. The place was packed. It was packed all the time anyway, but when Elijah came out, man, ooh. I remember I went out there, and there was a little brother, this brother I grew up with in Newark, right? And he used to call him Stinky. Stinky Fridays, I don't know why. He was a young brother. I mean, we was all young, right? And I guess his family had some money, because he was always sharp. I mean, we always, back then, we called being clean. Everybody was like, Italian, still, you know, whatever they say. You know, like they put hats on. We all call that clean, right? I was on the case. I was right there with him, right? I used to work on the weekends. Just everybody was clean. And like now, with your pants hanging down, everybody thought, you know, around Easter, everybody's suit tie and everything else. But you know, what do you call it? The Italian suit, whatever, knit, whatever. At any rate. So he was a young brother, and like his brother had been in jail, so his brother told him to fight. He was young, he was smaller than everybody else. I don't know why they call him Stinky. I had no idea why they call him Stinky. He was clean, young brother, didn't bother anybody, right? But he could thump. Because his brother had taught him. And the bottom line is, I ain't gonna go into details. Bottom line is, I was out there and I showed up. He showed up in the car. I said, hey, Stinky, what's happening? I ain't Stinky no more. Okay. Hey, bro. Right? So, I mean, you know, there was a lot of brothers from, you know, showed up there. I mean, it was like, it ain't like that now. I kind of try to step, you know, whatever, that's the story. But the thing is that this brother, well, we were supposed to do that. He was FOI in Chicago. And when he do Q&A, that means the guests and everything come and ask a question. Farrakhan's don't do Q&A because you can shut them down in an instant. You don't understand. So who's this guy you're talking about, Farrakhan? See, he wakes you up in the morning. He pulls your teeth. He wipes your ass. He makes you in a room. I said, who's this guy? Is that Matt Truman doing that? You say, ain't no mystery God, but who's God doing all this? And you got to shut him down right there because you know he's lying. Who's God doing all this stuff you talking about? You say, God, he's not a spirit or spook. Who's God doing all this stuff you saying? See? Anyway, so his brother jumps up. He wasn't going to do this, right? I said it was just for the lost found. They call it lost found, right? The only apostle. So nobody say anything, you know, they want to use it with a grab them. Security police grab. So what you doing, bro? Nobody say anything. He jumped up. The holy apostle. So I'd be glad when the time comes to go home, man, because you know we all had the idea we was going home, not like fire coming out anywhere. And the messenger said, "Oh, brother, hold it." He said, "Brother, don't pray for that day." I mean, the place got silent. Whoa, that place got silent. You hear pin drop on Mars. It's so quiet. He says, "Don't pray for that day, brother, because you have no idea what you're up against." What did it get silent? I think people's hearts started beating because they didn't expect that answer. He says, "Don't pray for that day, brother, because you have no idea what you're up against." Yeah, and I'm paraphrasing, right? But he said something to the effect that I will ask the Savior, "Can I talk to you about it?" Right? And I knew he came the next week. He said, "No." He said, I can't. Yeah. Okay. And now you're in it. But most of you don't even understand you're in it. Because right now, it's like, you know, like a frog, you take a frog, you put him in a cold water, and it's so heated, he doesn't realize it's getting hot. And so those of you who are somewhat familiar with the angel, been around for a while, right? You kind of got to adjust it so this is not affecting you like, because now, you know, you've been thrown out. But our people ain't being thrown out, they're still in an icebox. And that heat wave is coming. Everybody's telling you. And they have no idea what's coming or anything. And they've been told the devils ain't devils anymore. And they're going to find these devils are more devil than they ever thought they were when they end up on a plate with apple in their mouth going into the oven. See, but even those who are so familiar, because they have they have a little familiarity because of the angel, that's not necessarily good for them either. Because they're being thawed out. See, because they saw the fire while it was in the freezer, they would see how dangerous it is. But when you get thrown out, then maybe, you know, it doesn't bother you that much. Okay? But it's still fire. Because fire is more dangerous than ice than it is something thrown out. And so just the mental perception of it, and that's to be careful. I always have to check myself all the time, make sure I don't fall in that category. Because you say, oh, so therefore you don't fear it as much, but it's still going to cook your ass. That fire's going to cook your ass. I'm throwing, you know, because you don't see the fire. In other words, the ice feels the heat. You throw it out, you don't feel it as much. Right? But you will when you get in the fire. So you're approaching the fire, put it that way. You're approaching the fire, if you approach it as ice, it's going to be dramatic. If you approach it as all thrown out, or you think it's warm. It's warm, man. It's still warm in here. See the idea? So therefore, you keep on watching towards the fire because it's just warm. So, you know, the snow can recoil right away. But you're going to keep on walking towards it until you get burnt. Oh, then you realize the problem. I keep telling people you don't understand what's going on. And the people that's me with the injury, that's the problem they're going to have. If they have it now, they'll realize it. Because right now, you see what's happening right now? They can see the fire. They can see the fire. Other people can't see the fire. They can see the fire. See what I'm saying? They can see it. But it doesn't bother them. See, they can see it. You feel a little bit of it, but see, because so it comes, so it's see it coming, so. I guess that's the best analogy I can make. Let's move on, brothers and sisters.
For he was teaching his disciples, and telling them, the Son of Man is to be betrayed into the hands of men, and they will put him to death, and after being put to death, in 3 days he will rise to life again.
Now, see, you need an angel key to understand this, and it's not saying what you think it's saying. But it's dramatic. Dramatic events are happening. And though you may not be in the shock, because people be in shock, that shock will save some of them because their reaction is going to be very dramatic. Because you act dramatically, your reaction to the shock is dramatic. But you're throwing out, your action will not be as dramatic. And it might be against you because, right? Because I say, somebody said, I have to talk about these things. So much to talk about, like I said, it's just me. It says he'll be by himself. And one of the reasons why be himself, because I told you, the choice, because it tells you right there. Our people will not be ready until the four winds blow. So if you bring somebody along, or you ask for trouble. Because they already told you that if anybody shows up before that, they're problems. Except for the 3, and they don't even tell you where there's a question about those. But the advisors cut it down. Okay? Yeah. Well, he ain't got any followers. Well, see, that's how stupid they are. Because they claim it's something, and the scripture tells you clearly that those bones will be dead until the 4 winds blow. And says, soon they will walk alone. Oh, see, they're talking Facebook stuff. What's on with it? Because there's a process. Resonance. They don't understand resonance. They don't understand everybody talking, and that's why they're enemies. That's why they're going to be broken. Not crushed, broken. Because it says those that fall on against this will be broken. Those that just fall on will be crushed. And broken is worse than being crushed. Because crushed is, that's the people in the graveyard, they got crushed. People in hell, that's the ones that got broken. Because you're going to suffer, you're going to feel some pain, you're going to be broken. And I can't wait to see it happen. See? Because, I just ignored it for years. Right? But if you read about, it says, I don't come with a sword. Don't think I come with peace. I come with a sword, and I can't wait until it happens. I have to go to the baptism first. At that point, he's very angry. Let's get on. Let's wait for Master Muhammad. Let's get on. Let's kick ass here. Because full of wrath. Why would he be? See, pointed something that made him wrathful. But see, the wrath is mathematical wrath, not emotional wrath. Because emotional wrath, that's the problem. Emotional wrath is like weather. It can be hot and stormy, and all of a sudden, it'll be hot, and then it just turns cool. The weather be hot 1 minute, cool next. So you get mad, you start beating on something. After a while, you get all your anger out. Next day, you might be friends, buddies. But it's mathematical aid. It's just eliminate. That's the idea. Eliminate it. You got a roach, you step on it. And the anger is mathematical. That's the worst anger there is. Worst anger there is. Because it's not emotional. It's like, you know, if you got shit in your houses, you got to get it out of there. Well, it's nice shit, it's brown shit, whatever. You got to get it out of there. It might sound emotional to you, but for you, that's the mathematics that you got to get stuff out of your house. You got rats in your house, you got to get them out your house. You don't think about, well, that's a cute roach, and now you step on it. Anyway, if you understand the angel key, you can understand this up to a point. Because there's something I'm not going to explain to you yet, but it tells you a lot. It says, so the man betrayed the hands of men, they were put him to death, and being put to death for 3 days he would rise again. Now I'm going to give the math, the angel key math up to a point of it. Because not saying what you think it's saying. And that's only for those who say angel key. Now, most of the people said, I'm not, what I'm doing here, putting information out, but it's resonance. See, why they give you these stories? I keep telling you, they don't give you these stories just saying that stuff. That's not history. All these things, they're telling you things, but they put it in a way, it's sealed. See, like Muhammad said, this whole thing's under the veil. He says, put it on the veil, I guess that's what he said, it's sealed. The thing is that all these stories, I keep telling people, break these stories down. That's how you show that you're getting into the angel. But all the stories tell you some aspect of what's going on. So why tell about the story of Jericho? The story of Jericho is about the idea about resonance, teaching you resonance there. Resonance is a very powerful weapon. It's one of the most powerful weapons you have. So how would they tell you about resonance? They don't tell you, they don't give you the mathematics of it. No, they give you a story. They give you a story of it, and then if you understand the story, then you understand the idea of it. Because before I start telling people, most people don't even know what resonance is. And devils tell them, speak, and devil, again, remember I said everything they tell you is wrong? So if you discover what resonance is, you already got something set up for you to, right? If at first you don't succeed, try again, that's what they tell children, right? They tell you, insanity, they wait till our children. They don't tell people, I know they don't tell us that. First, she's trying to, they don't tell us, they say, oh, sanity is trying to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. But that's resonance. It's the same thing they said their children, it's the opposite. They said, if at first you don't succeed, don't do it again. Don't keep trying. That's what that statement meant. And sanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And that's exactly what resonance is. You do the same thing over and over again, but you expect a different result, or you expect something to happen. Right? You understand? So they already got you set for that. So if you say resonance to most people, I guarantee you, they have no idea what you're talking about. The resonance is very powerful and it's used against them. It took 64 years of resonance to break us down. That's all about. See, now I feel that. Same thing over. It had to be resonance. Why can these up front just cold? Over, same thing. Until they finally broke through barrier and destroyed our old mind, original mind, and gave us their mind. It took 64 years to do it. Constant. Right? Once they broke it, keep it up. So now, once you break the barrier, you want to keep the pressure on. And so they just kept it going till now. And then Elijah came and started the process. Mass problems came, and that's what St. Angel's all about. Just keep on, right? Reverse the process. So it took 64 years, right, to break through. Right? But it says it's going to take the angel about 36 years. We break back through, break through the wall they set up for us. See, our mind, when your mind is data, but it's a wall. The information you get in your brain is a wall. It's a wall of information. And you look at it like it's a wall. They got to break through it. 64 years to break through it and replace it with their wall. Their wall they got. Right? It says take angel about 30 years to break through that wall. Concept. There's another way of looking at it. I say so many things I've talked to you about, brothers and sisters. But anyways, move on.
Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. 21 And as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. 22 And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? 23 And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. 24 The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him, but woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. 25 Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, Thou hast said.
Okay, I'm going to address this in a minute. Let me see, have another one here. Okay. Now, a couple of things about that. Now, they're talking about most grievous chastisement. I've mentioned that, right? That means it's the worst chastisement possible. Worst ever. So there were those who leave part of the book and discipline the other. That's for our kinds of people do it all the time. The most grievous chastisement means the worst possible chastisement there is. That's terrible. Now talking about destruction. I said that's one of the worst things that you say you're going to destroy something, that goes beyond chastisement. That means you eradicate them and everything about them. Their seed, everything. You totally destroy. As though they never existed. But this one here, they got a little wrinkle there. They say it's better that person hadn't been born. See? Whoa. I know you don't understand that, but the point of what they're telling you is they're going further than destruction. They're going to what produced him. The egg and the sperm, they're going back to they're going further than that, because this one destruction, you read a person, everything about them. But now you're going further. You're going to what even produced him. Had never been born. So you're cursing those that produced him, the ones that made him born. That's even worse. So that tells you what's going to happen to this person. That's worse than destruction. It's worse than chastisement. It's worse destruction. They're not going to get him. They're going to get what produced him. Damn. Whoa. Little subtle things that most people don't pay attention to. So it's okay. Look at this. Now I'm going to give you here's the angel key here. Now see, I show 4 days, but if you go over, it's 12 days altogether. And this is not new because I've got presentation. I explained those days, how the days work, right? I'm just showing 4. This first day, second, right? Okay. So it says, Son of Man betrayed into the hands of men. Now see here, American Britain, when this is, when this is in the right form, they're the hands of this. Russia and Europe is the feet. These represent ear. They're on the bottom right now because JCPOA, I'm not going to all that. These are the hands. Right? The Son of Man betrayed into the hands of men, put to death. But who is death? This one is death here. This is death here. That's to say, we're in the shadow of death. See, because this is death right here. Okay? That's that black horse says, he wrote, atop him was what was called death. Yeah. Okay. So it said, Son of Man betrayed into the hands of men and put to death. Let's look at that. Now, there was, this is, so when will this be happening? Okay. They was on J Spill 8, they're rising up. Conflict is going on, right? Between America, Britain, and Syria had to be taken out first. It says that in Fifth Seal. And while it's going on, that's when Son of Man will come to the NOI. Those that understand Sixth Seal would not understand that, right? While the war is going on. Right? Because Exodus says that's Hebrew. Exodus, Joshua was the Son of Man, not just Jesus. Okay. Now the war is a full-fledged, which is maybe in the process right now. Because remember, Trump said he's gonna kick ass. He's gonna tear the whole thing down. Then he backed off. Everybody expected to happen the next day or so. Anyway, the war is going on. It's getting really hot. They're really gone, right? So he'll be setting. And during this time, that's when Suman will take over NOI. And that's when they'll attack. Son of Man will be traded into the hands of men. See what I'm saying? There it is. Put to death. On a third day, rise, right? Falls goes down, right? Now, when it happens, this becomes the third day. Four winds blow, third day rise. That's what it's talking about. I said, where's betrayal at? Oh, it's in there. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's in there. But it says, it's better that person was never born. It's in there. I know you don't see it, but it's in there. When I tell it to you, you'll see it. It's in there. But I showed you up that part. I'll show you what I showed you. I showed you Angel Key. It says exactly that. I tell you, everything is back to Angel Key. See? That's what it's talking about. Some of that period. And when, so that tells you what? It tells you when, where, who. Well, I say who. It tells you, identifies everyone except the betrayal, because I'm not going to tell you that one. See what I'm saying? So you know when it's going to happen, when betrayal will happen, this particular betrayal. Where it's going to happen, right? The characteristics of it, put that away. That was telling off. And then who's responsible for it? To be better, they had never been born. So just so, for those of you have some idea about it, if you have no idea about the angel, I know you're not understanding this. You will in a minute. That four winds blow. See the four winds blowing there? So the four winds will blow before he rise. Notice that? So while this war is going on, they attack, and four winds will blow. And then that's when you start You have your mind back. Battle for heaven. Now, battle for heaven, brothers and sisters, again, all this is about you. The reason why they keep saying, wow, why are they doing this? What makes sense? Doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense. Because the main focus of this, they're taking out. You the focus all of this. All what's going on. Let me see what I can do. Explain it. See here, battle in heaven. Now they told you heaven was the place you go after you die, which is a lie. Everything told you is a lie. But that was the way for the winner, and the only way that you could receive the benefit of the winner, you had to be lied to. You had to be lied to. Because to be in submission, you need, because it would have been impossible for you to stay in submission with the mind you had. You agreed to do it, but you after a while, you say, hey, man, this is too much. So the mind you had, that sealed by the mind, empowered you to submit, because everything about it was submission. Submit to the master. The data you had, they gave you a data, a mind that will force you to submit. Does that make sense to you? Because we need you to submit. That's why I said God told you to submit. So he told you to submit. But how would you submit? And then you don't have the knowledge of submission. Okay, I want you to submit to something, right? And once you submit, you're going to lose all memory of your agreed to submit. So how are you going to continue submitting if you don't know that you agreed to submit? Even though that's what you need to do. You understand the problem? So therefore, you have to be in a situation that will force you to submit without the memory of your agreed to submit. You agreed to submit. So now you got to go through a process that will force you to submit without being conscious of it. Because you don't have conscious of it anymore because you submit. They don't give you new mind, but the mind they have to give you is a mind of submission. That's why everything you told is a lie. You was told you was an animal, right? You was ham, submit to master. See, that's sealed Bible. It's perfect. Tells you everything about sealed Bible. Tells you submit. That's why, like Muhammad says, everything is reading the Bible. Reading the Bible is nothing but slavery, right? Slavery is about submission. Because we need to submit. Why? Because that's the wisdom of transformation to force you to transform into something else. It said pressure and tension cause things to transform. You like this, you certain thing, and you're going to stay like that. It says, how they say, an object will remain as it is. I forget how they say it's a technical way, mathematical saying it, until acted upon by a force. In other words, if something's sitting there, it's going to stay like it is unless a force act. Every action has an opposite reaction. So if there's no action, there's no reaction. So therefore, it just sits there. So you have to put an action upon it to get a reaction. And if your reaction is to strengthen it, right, then you have to put an action on it that makes it, that will cause that kind of reaction. You want to strengthen your muscles, you go to the gym. That's the kind of reaction you want. So you need action, right? So say, what kind of action? Well, if you want to be transformed into a God, that means you have to be take more pressure, withstand more pressure than anybody else, doesn't it? Isn't that what they mean by definition? So it means you have to submit to pressure. Because if you run away from pressure, then you can't be transformed. If you take a piece of coal, you put it on the ground, if it digs away out from underground, it never turns to a diamond, will it? It ends up in a fire. So you have to stay in that condition, and it's in your Bible that our people still in that condition. Now it's time to come out of it. They've been transformed. But if they transform, they'll sit there just like transform until another force acts upon them. Without a force, nothing happens. So when they've been transformed, they sit there. Diamond's been transformed, the coal transformed diamond, they just sit on the ground, just sitting there. Somebody got to dig it out, polish it up. It just sit there, it's transformed, that's done. So now it takes the force to bring it out and it shows beauty. To overcome the force that, right? To overcome the force that caused the transform. It's transformed now. I try to explain to you that's the same thing that was used to the devils for 1,000 years. They was putting a lot of pressure that caused it to transform to the form they have right now because they wasn't strong enough to rule the planet. Say, well, I'll make a rule. How do you make a rule on Earth? You had to be strong enough to rule the Earth, stronger than anybody else, or he wouldn't be able to rule. So he said Prophet Muhammad stepped there, set Islamic empire, and they put pressure on the Europeans for 1,000 years because before when they came out of there, they was more like Muslims than they were like before. They was taking baths, they was cleaning up, they was obeying the law. You see? Because they cause transform something stronger. Once you transform, the pressure that causes you transform doesn't bother you anymore, has no effect on you anymore. So therefore, after they was transformed, come out of the Dark Ages, the Islamic Empire had no effect on them anymore. The Empire did something they played with for the last 500 years. Has no effect on them at all. It did for 1,000 years after that. They came out, had no effect, because they transformed. So they transformed into something stronger that the Islamic Empire had no power with them anymore. And same thing, that's why it says, once you was transformed to diamonds, they had no power over you anymore. It tells you right there, it says you had beaten yourself, so they had no control over you anymore. Because you transformed, but you didn't know. You're just sitting there, and you're beating yourself, and then that's why you had to get your mind back, and then all of a sudden a force had to come to transform you. Not to transform you, a force had to come, right? To start acting like a diamond. You are a diamond, now you got to start moving. But now you transform, that's it. Now you need force to move you as a diamond. If you understand that, I don't know if you understand that, brothers and sisters. That's the angel. Clean you up, pull you out of the ground, clean you up, polish you up. Take force to do that. Or you just sit there in America, a diamond, just sitting there, beating yourself up, and they're using you just like coal and throwing you in the furnace, just like coal, because diamonds and coal would burn exactly the same way, because they're both the same thing, and one just harder than the other. The same substance, one just harder than the other. So now they're throwing you in the furnace, still burning you up, and you're a diamond. And that's why these niggas out here and all this, see how people are being burnt, used for coal, because of them. Betrayers. You understand? So let's look at this. You see here? You see, on the ground floor here in America, right? These are everything doing this trying to keep us here. False Israel set up a vision, makes, we ain't going anywhere, we have no vision. But, right? Our vision perish. So A put false Israel up there, so destroys that our idea about we going home, that kind of stuff. Because the whole idea is to keep us here. So it still burns up like coal, even though we're diamonds. And believe me, you can say if you got that kind of money, you can throw diamonds in the fire, and just like coal, it burns the same way. Same substance, both my carbon. So this is all the force you got. You got the devil, some boys here, your hoes here. You got Farrakhan, we ain't going nowhere. All this part of the same process. All your enemies. Guys worship the golden calf. Got the niggers, corrupt the original people, stole us out. See, they said, oh, those who will love this world's life. Well, that's the original people, but they drank the Kool-Aid. They were swimming in shit, but they started eating and drinking the shit, so now they're full of shit. They're corrupt. Some of them make it through the hereafter, but they'll be everlasting shame and atonement. They'll be given to the tyrant who will tattoo them, and their seed will be cursed throughout eternity. Nobody's playing here, brothers and sisters. You got the demons. All these are all the, this is a gravitational vortex here. Keep you here. Because here, they use just coal, fuel. Because who's fueling this reality? You are. You're fueling it two ways. Your energy, so it's usually as coal. Also diamonds for your creativity. You're still being used, your fuel. And plus, your land is where the fuel, the liquid fuel that fuels this. Energy. Yeah, look, all this comes from you. This is your stuff. They're using you fueling this reality. And this their throne right here, so they keep you here, so you keep, you understand what I'm saying? So the war in heaven is, because where's the fuel coming from? Fuel is coming from the Middle East, heaven. So they got to keep control of that. So if you get control of it, you cut off this reality. You cut it off because it's fueled by the oil that comes from the Middle East. So they got to keep it here. They can't let you control that because that will bring us to a halt. And plus, if you leave here, right, then you don't have any coal to put in the furnace anymore. If you look at it in a simplistic way, no more creativity. They can't tell you that creativity. Why is all the creativity come from America? Because you're here. It's not come from Britain. It's not come from England. It's not come from France. It's not come from Germany. It come from here. And they tell you that. I tell you, they tell you these stories. I say, you go in there, these stories, they're not for any reason. They tell you, says, hey, y'all making brick, but you can't use straw anymore. But you still got to make brick. Why do they tell us that? Because you got to be creative. You should build brick. That tells you that story about creativity. You got to find a way to build bricks without straw. That's story of creativity. That's why you study, they tell you all kinds of information. They require creativity, energy. We got a symbiotic relationship here. Maximum profit, minimum overhead. That keeps them going. And but I said, the major source of energy, right, to the Middle East. And we started that process 500 years ago. Because for 6,000, 5,500 years, they was just an agricultural age. And I said the reason why we gave them that because we wanted to get that stuff out of the ground, because we start having rivers of oil under the ground, and they would start to come in contact with the rivers of water, because you have my main water supplies come from underground rivers. That's why you can build wells. You cut down to the ground deep enough, you hit one of those rivers, then you got water. So now those two mix together, that destroy our water supply. So we said, no, we get them. Because that's not the supply, that's not the energy supply we're going to use when we take over. Master Mama has a whole different energy source. That's come from, so the battle there is there. It says, it tells you who started this whole thing. It says, the king, I said, the king, it says, since the days of John, the kingdom of heaven been taken by force by evil men. Since Elijah's time, they started trying to take evil force, trying to take heaven back. Right? Trying to take control of it. They want complete control of it. Because they understand Elijah Muhammad revealed, Master Muhammad revealed who we are. Because we weren't supposed to have that knowledge. So they said, hey, oh, they still Bible says we're going to return home. Return home, that means we cut off their whole reality. Let's get control of that so they never get it. And so, if you start watch the story, it says what? We got to break the gravity vortex right here. He said they'll tell you that Elijah will come, and then we after he left, they'll have all these other forces to keep us here, hold us back. Why would they have to hold us back? See, you only have to hold something back because they're moving on. Our nature was clinging to Elijah. So they got to hold us back, otherwise we'd rise up. If they didn't have whereby rise up, they're going to have to hold us back, would they? They saw the time we're starting to rise up. So send Farrakhan there to shut that down. Shut it like out. And you got the demons. These are all the things we got to battle right here. And the niggers. They're the hardest ones. Because they look like us. They act like us. Right? But their nature's corrupt. Right? So, I shouldn't say they act like us, right? What they do, they don't. They're corrupt, a corrupt version, but they can hide enough to deceive us. They know what it is. They can mimic, because they have our nature. It's just corrupt. The demons don't have our nature, so it's hard for them to emulate us. They have to keep studying hard, trying to figure out what we lack, we don't lack. With others, it's natural, but they prefer this world's life. And they have to sell out their soul to have this world's life, like Quran says. Right? They sell us out. They like this. Right? So that's we battle. And it's an emotional thing too, because some of us is waking up a little bit. We see them, oh man, they acting, and we think that's us. There's an old movie called The Shy. That's all demons, niggas in us. But that's all we see. And that's examples we see like a child. You can talk to a child all you want. He's growing up. That child, boy or girl, is going to relate to how you act as opposed to what you're saying. And they're going to act towards the father the way you see the mother acts towards the father. They act towards the mother and see the father acts towards the mother. Because you set an example. Your actions, actually it's louder than words. You talk all you want to. The action is what's going to prevail. So that's the gravitational vortex we have to escape. All this right here, right? How the demons came. That was a natural plan. It tells you. It tells you that was a plan. It says an evil. That's why I tell people you got to study this thing. It says an enemy came and sowed his seed amongst the wheat. That means a plan. That's telling you how demons got started. It was a plan. And if you're an enemy and you sow in your seed, that means men sow seeds. And so to women. But if there's an enemy doing it, that means he's raping our women. And they was chaff and we was wheat. So it's two different natures. And so they did it and they left. So they left the two together. So they have two different natures. They may look alike, but two different natures. And they'll be against each other because they look alike, and now you got division amongst your own people because you don't know who's who. You got lambs that live in the sheep, they all comfortable, all happy with each other. All of a sudden you dress some wolves in sheep clothing, and you mix them in there after a while, the lambs gonna be running, sheep gonna run up, they're scared each other because they don't know who's who. They see, hey man, sheep missing. They see you got some sheep with blood running out there. So everybody knows you don't have any Hajj there. And so you have to take and remove the sheep, the wool sheep clothing, and convince the sheep that they're not there anymore, where you can get back to where they were before. Okay? And then you got the sheep, right? That's corrupted. Right? Or they act like they're with the sheep and everything else, right? But they're corrupt. They cause the problem. They want to stay in the corral. Crowd doors open. Hey, no, let's stay in the corral. I like the corral, man. There's free food here. They bring us food. See what I'm saying? Feel like this world's life, man. Hey, when I run out there in the field for, wow, we stay here, man. You don't know you be cooking and eating, be eating. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's world life. Man, why we going over there, man? I got me a nice house here, man. I got me a BMW, man. I got me a little white girl. See what I'm saying? Well, why I want to leave here? I got all that. And you better say nothing. And they put you down. But speaking about it, you understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? That's corruption. So we got those folks. And they're against you too. And they don't want you here but talking about, man, we going someplace. Man, you get out of here, man. I got this melody here for me right now. I got my white girl over here, man. A couple of them maybe. Right? BMW, man. I'm out here in the suburbs. My white friends. I'm doing good, man. Don't tell me, like I said, I mean, I almost went down that path myself, but not the white girl. Because after Elijah left, before I got the angel, do for self. That's what I interpreted. I had a mini mansion, nice cars, nice piece of land, had my own business. Right? I mean, what else was going to do? I didn't know about the angel. Elijah Muhammad wasn't around anymore. So I so the best thing I do for self. That's the basic message. And so that's what I did. I got the angel. Now that was a choice. Because getting the angel, that means I'm going to have to let that go. So I chose to let it go. But somebody said, no, man, I ain't giving me heck with the angel, man. I'm not giving up this here for mess with that. See the difference? So that is. So that's why it battles in heaven, because the Sunnis, they do everything they can to keep you from coming back there, because that's your land. It says once you take it back, then you got to fight China, India. That's the goat. because they totally depend upon it, or they totally depend on its reality. But now you got control of that oil. Matt Thomas, he's battling for you. All this about you. They're trying to take it, and he's battling for you. See, Iran don't want, they're going to take the land from them and give it back to us. We're going to have to fight them. They're fighting for us. They're taking the land for us. All this about us. False Israel trying to take the land. They say, oh, it's belongs to them. It's all about us. House Assad, they paying Farrakhan to stop us to talk about that land back. China, their main focus, their whole reality is based on the resource from that land. See, it's all about you. And all that's yours. And they don't want you, if you come back, that's why it says these 10 kings make war with the Lamb. That's right there. You got to fight all these people. The worst is yet to come. The battles are the worst to come. I tell people, what's coming right now, it's just men's hearts failing for fear of those things coming upon the earth. Because powers of heaven be shaken. That means it's all about the heavens, about the Middle East. It's all about you. Because it says people here, they're going to have strokes. Why? Because it's going to be so bad. It's going to be a lakes of blood, rivers of blood there in a minute. The Shia and the Sunni, that's just one aspect of it. When false Israel goes down, they're not going down easy. That's be a bloodbath right there. When this war, right, it's going to hit the next phase. It says when Iran comes down with a whirlwind, that's going to be, the blood's going to be terrible. Because they're going to knock out all, you see, I probably shouldn't even reveal this. But they say, why false Israel? They know if they keep on going, they're going to destroy the Middle East. They want that. So therefore they can mop up all these other countries when they knock down. See, they ain't going to say it like that. See, they hope Iran does knock all these countries out. It's easy for them because that's their objective, is take all of them, right? So that's why they back up and say, okay, America, you go for it. And if you attack, because Iran says, if America keeps one more time, I'm going to knock all these Arab countries. And Israel said back, yeah. They won't say it out loud. I hope so. Because then there's nothing to stop them taking all these Arab countries. And now I got nuclear weapons. I got all control of these countries now because they can't defend against me. So I hope they do knock them all out. See? And I'm not going to how they want to be a world power. I'm not going to all that. You understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? You don't see what's going on here, but it's all about you. Keep you here. Keep them going back home. They know that's what you want. It says right, Abraham covenant. If you go back home, there's good problem because you're going to this whole reality. Remember, you make all things new. How you make all things new if you continue this on? Well, how does it stop? I tell you right now, because of Strait of Hormuz. Well, I tell you right there, because the heavens is fueling this whole reality. And say make all that means we're going to get rid of reality altogether. That means that source of fuel will be shut down. You understand? The point is, how did this reality that you see get started? We're behind all this. Because we let them know it's all in the middle. We discovered it. They think they discovered it all in and they found they could use it. And that's how technology came about 500 years ago. So it's fueled by the oil from the Middle East, from heaven. See what I'm saying? And then they took us to captivity. All it's 500 years ago. I don't know if it makes sense to you or not, brothers and sisters. That's what's going on. These are all plans. They plan and Allah plan. Allah best of planners. But this whole thing fueled by the oil in the Middle East. And so all things new, we shut it down. And we shut it down because that's part of the problem. Because Master Muhammad get ready to shut it down for European countries for sure. That's first. So that's start Armageddon, but Armageddon East and Armageddon West. Total economic collapse over here. If it's secondary, Europe first, America falls behind. Partly because of Armageddon. That's no so together. Total economic collapse here. Which thing will happen when that happens? Understand, brothers and sisters? That's what's going on. So, get ready off our land. They have nothing. Reality, the goat, their economies collapse because we shut the oil, make all they knew. We got most of oil out of the ground, shut it down. This whole reality comes to a screeching halt. So now we're being attacked here in America. Right? That's the tribulation. Then right, so we got to deal with devils. Then we got to deal with the demons. Deal with the niggas. That's another thing. I'm just in on this a little bit, brothers and sisters. But see, the thing is that, and we had this crop mostly out of California. Interesting. Because see, all these so-called 10%ers, let's just take this. See, a lot of people don't understand about the Black Panthers. See, that was California's version of the FOI. It was. If you go back and get a Black Panthers paper from back that time, look at it. I got a copy of Elijah Muhammad's Mr. Black. Papers, right? Speaks newspapers, right? Look at back, it was almost identical. On their back page, it was almost identical to what the NOI was saying. They said Black Panthers, because all these people were stealing Elijah Muhammad's. But see, the point is, you can see the knuckleheads. They go out there and they get a little knowledge. They get a little bit instead of seeing the whole picture. They get one piece of the puzzle. They run with that piece of the puzzle instead of putting all pieces together. So they're the militants. They would take America by force, and that was stupid too. They run with guns. Where you get the guns from, boy? Where you get the ammunition from, boy? So you get to fighting, right? When you run out of ammunition, where you gonna get the ammunition? Oh man, I have to give you some more ammunition so I can shoot your ass. It was just stupid, but that's what came out of there. Black Panthers, so-called Hebrew Israelites, again. That brother was FOI. Same thing, the so-called 5%ers. So they caused all this confusion by going to grab a little bit and think, and then take it for their own, instead of saying, hey, I stole it from Elijah. That's why the wrath is going to be upon them. They're already suffering already anyway. Wrath be upon them because they cause confusion, and that's going to say anything about Israel. I'm just saying as much. There's going to be someone out there. That's why I don't want people to come here, because a lot of people come here, and I had that in the beginning. They come to find as much as they could. So they go out and say, oh, this is my own, this is mine, I got this. And then it confuses people, because now, without the angel or a sealed Bible, they have no idea what's going on. You can look at this, say total darkness, but now you got stars all over the place. You got stars all over the place. See? They reflect that little bit of light they stole from Elijah. So now people run to where they would have came to NOI. They run to the Black Panthers. They run to 10%ers, 5%ers. Run to Hebrewites. Spreading that confusion. Now I know it's going to happen with NOI soon. I mean, that was excuse me, with the angel. I kept it down for over 30 some years. Guys run them out. We ain't doing anything. Run their ass out of there. I knew that's what they was doing for. I mean, I had cases come in, try to study it, learn much they can, and then when they run out and say, hey, man, I got this, I did this, I broke this seals, all this kind of stuff. That's why rats would be so great upon these people. So they can try it and do what they want to do. You know, whatever they do, doesn't at this point, it doesn't matter. 10 years ago, it would have been a problem. Now it does, because stuff hit the fan, everything's breaking loose. So all you're doing is exposing yourself to a horrific destruction. So that's when you got all this out there. And a lot of it came out of California. Because I know I can get it. I don't know if I'm going to waste my time doing it. I don't know if waste time or not. I did have a video. I don't know what happened to it. But the video I did were about that, where somebody takes, and Elijah, he's doing, I believe it was theology time. It might have been a Savior's Day, I'm not sure, I don't know. Anyway, somebody came in and had a Q&A, and they brought up those lessons, they gave them a copy of the lessons, and they got them in California. And Elijah read them. And one, Master Muhammad was born with a gold cap on his head and all this bullshit, right? And I looked at him, man, he looked at that stuff. No. Because they made their own lessons. Made their own lessons. So Elijah Muhammad shut it down. And we had quite to do that. We had a lot of that stuff coming out of California. Like they want to make up their own stuff. And they had people that don't believe in that stuff. See? And it causes a lot of confusion. But now, they can do what they want to, they just manifest themselves. That's what happened. There's all that information out there. Tim says now so they end up 10th dimension and 8, all that kind of stuff. Totally out. Oh, that's why it just gets worse and worse. Start going crazy, just get crazier. All this garbage out there, where the truth is so clear. They got all these stars out there. And people trying to figure out, which one I should listen to. They don't have no idea. Destruction is coming upon them. But we got innocent brothers and sisters that went to the Holocaust, they did what they were supposed to do. They seeking the message of the covenant like they was told to. If you were not there, they would find the message of the covenant, but you had to block it. Then you say, I'm the message of the covenant, I'm the son of man, I'm the one of these two. Ain't no son of man, and all this bullshit you're out there with. And so you're part of the problem. And you're going to be broken. Not going to crush you, going to break you. In more horrific ways. That's what it's all about. One heaven. About you. So once we break the gravitational vortex, the next war, rape you. Take our land back. And then once we take our land back, we have control of oil. We shut it down. Now we got to fight with go. China, India. So these make war with the land, but the land will come them. So there's a lot of battles here, brothers and sisters. First, you got to, it's a gravitational, some of you can't get past, it's a gravitational vortex here. Can't get past Farrakhan, can't get past the niggas, can't get past the demons, can't get past false Israel, can't pass the golden calf, Sunnism. So therefore, he's stuck on this world's life or whatever. But when the four winds blow, true seed will step up. You understand, brothers and sisters? Hidden enemies. See here? I always say if you squeeze something, you squeeze orange, you get orange juice. Squeeze an apple, you get apple juice. Squeeze lemon, you get lemon juice. Have you squeeze a black man? That's a generic term. That's another way of deceiving us. No, I tell you, everything they told us, when I say everything, I mean 100%. Black is a generic term. I mean, by that means, I'd be a white man, wouldn't he? Not a white man, it's original man. But he has white complexion. So original people here, right? Black is not a racial term. But they use it as a gravitational human bones and movements. They play out. They use it for deception because it's wrong. I tell you, everything I told you was wrong. They use that black term. We never used that term before. Not before we came here. They didn't classify. They call, I think, Egypt. Well, let me speak to that. But my line is, in fact, white people ain't white anyway. And we ain't black either. That's why Angel calls it as being gold, right? But some of us are really dark. But blackness is not a color. Black's absolute color. See, that's a distinction right there. Because what happens is your skin, because we have melanin, we absorb all the light, so no light comes back. That's what black is. So if you absorb all of it, you're gonna be jet black. Because no light coming back. So it's absence of light. But white is total rejection of light. So they don't absorb any of it, so it'll come back at you. That's why they look white. It's not good for them. It burns them. That's why I get hot, because they don't absorb it. And we absorb it all. See, me, I absorb about 90%, because I ain't jet black. Right? Some absorb less than that. Master Muhammad probably absorb very little, if any. But he's original. Okay. But then you got some demons. They can be black too, absorb it, but it's still got a devil nature. So you squeeze. So the point is, that's a bad term. Black. That's no deception. Because now we think everybody black is one of us. That's not true. And they exploit that. Farrakhan and exploit that. Because they try to present Master Muhammad the way they do it, try to present him as a white man. See? I mean, listen to them carefully. They're so full of shit over there, and nobody pays attention. So that's another lie. Everything. They said God can make God go out to see the whole world. Everything they told us are lies. But those lies was what we needed for the winter to keep us in submission, because all the lies was it kept us in submission, and submission, to stay under that pressure, to submit to that pressure they put us under, transform us to diamonds. There's pressure. So that had no effect over us anymore. Only effect have it said that right in Mount Mark, we don't have effect of never any control us anymore. Only through the manipulation of our mind. Once that was moved, they had none at all. Manipulation of the mind they gave us. So I say squeeze something. So you squeeze a what they call a black man. See what they call black, and what you get. Kind of juice you get. Well, you get a demon, right? That's what we're on the left there. He's black on the outside, but he's white nature. See it? Dark skin, but inside, you got devil nature. That's a demon. On the right here, he's black, but he's corrupt inside. He loves the world's life. He want to marry him a devil. Or she wants to marry a devil. Like this woman, they nominated a name. I said, "Why her name could be Schwartz? Black as hell." I looked it up. Sure enough, her husband's a devil, a Jew. So what does that make her? Either she's a demon or she loves world life. So she's corrupt inside. But you have to be corrupt inside. The original, when you love devils, they corrupted you. So even if you make it to the hereafter, right? When I say corrupt, no, I don't mean temporarily. No, you permanently corrupt. Like I said, drugs corrupt your brain. Once it's permanent, once it corrupt, it's permanent. See, when you're young, like I said, when I was in Vietnam, I was 19, 20 years. I was 19 when I got there, I believe, first time. And I smoked enough marijuana to fill a van. Right? Look, it was like you say, well, it did the damage. Right? But I had a young brain, right? And so at that age, the brain will heal. So I never mess that stuff anymore. I got it there. Right? But if I was older, it did damage. It just damaged while I was doing it. But your brain heals because you're at that age, right? I didn't think anything was wrong with it. Stupid. Right? For about a year, I smoked that stuff like crazy. Right? At any rate, but your nature is corrupted. So if your nature is corrupted, then you can never be happy. Right? Because how you say it? I mean, if you mess around and cripple yourself, you can't be a good athlete, can you? So I'm saying you can't be a good athlete. No matter what you do, you can't be a good athlete because you don't cripple yourself. You're in a wheelchair or whatever. So you corrupt your nature, then whatever you do, because remember, the happiness is being able to take and change your energy that you get, is to take and give the quality of your nature. That's what a paradise is all about. Like I said, if you like ice cream, chocolate ice cream, then you go to a place that got chocolate ice cream and you happy because you right. See what I'm saying? Or if you like vanilla, right? So it has to conform your energy that you have conform to your nature. Your nature's corrupt. Right? So now you like pork. You like ham, pork chops. See what I'm saying? That's against your nature, but that's what you like. I'm saying? So what you like is against your nature. But that's what makes you happy, eating pork chops. I guess that's the best analogy I come with right now, brothers and sisters. So when they go, if they make it home, they love this. If they love this world's life, they're gonna want this world's life. That's what they love, right? But they ain't gonna be there. And that's the only thing that makes them happy, this world's life. They said those who like this world's life, those who love this world's life. So they love it, that means, right? But they won't be there for them. So therefore they can never be happy, can they? Because they could be trying to revive that same thing the demons. When America goes down, they love America, they're gonna try to fight America. The same problem with them. It's a different problem with them though, because they want America and they're gonna fight for it and they're gonna get it. That's why they fight for America, that's why they want to stay here, because it fits their nature. This whole reality, right, is based on their nature, their guidance. It says, those who follow my guidance, no fear for them, no grief. What was the guidance they had? The still Bible. That was the Bible that was given them. So it made them successful. But their success made them more powerful. And more powerful, that means more pressure. But their pressure was opposite to our pressure, right? Conflicting pressures. So the stronger they got, the greater pressure they put on us. The greater pressure put on us, right? The more it caused us to transform. Some of us was able to transform to diamonds. Some of us crushed to dust, couldn't handle it. some of us try to ease out of it. Didn't take the full brunt. So some became diamonds, but low quality diamonds. You understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? Okay. Some of us are sellouts. Instead of taking the full brunt, hey, master, if you give me a biscuit, man, I'm tired of eating the damn chitlins, man. You give me a biscuit, man, I'll tell you what Sam is doing. I'll tell you what Jan is doing. Selling us out. Come on, brothers and sisters. You squeeze, that's what you get. Or you get a real original person, saint. That's what's in our community. All three. And so it says, the angel will be, when strong enough to squeeze it all out. That's why I say, you don't do it. Master Cut will come, you have enough power to squeeze it, to force all these out, expose all of this. Because you didn't know about this one. Neighbors, you know that one. I just told you recently. And before me, didn't know about demons either. People I still don't know, but they don't know about demons. Farrakhan never talks about them. It's not a mess of the black man. Our people don't even know about demons. They had some idea when I was a child, because you just call them Orioles. Black on the right side, black on the outside. And now that got lost. Do you notice that? See, when I was a child, before the so-called civil rights movement and everything else, they kind of like knew something was wrong. Could they call them Orioles and some other name they call them. Orioles, something else than they call them, right? Well, was a big thing. And I noticed when I came back from Vietnam, they don't even use those terms anymore. Everybody was just black. Even Elijah Muhammad didn't make a distinction. He didn't make a distinction. He was told not to make a distinction. He said, no, you can't separate them. So all blacks were black. But I always knew something was wrong, because when I was in Vietnam, I went overboard. Right? We had a place called, what was that place we called? Plantation Road, Plantation Alley, whatever. Just hang out. I was staying in Saigon. We got to get high, smoke before. I smoked that so like crazy, right? And there were some sisters down there who their fathers were Africans when the French was there fighting, and they brought Africans over there, and they had children, and they left behind. So I had some picture of these sisters there. Beautiful. But the Vietnamese didn't like them. They were Vietnamese. I mean, well, their fathers were original, right? But the mothers were Vietnamese. They didn't like them. So they hung out. They was like being prostitutes or whatever. Some of them forced to be prostitutes. And so we just hang out there with them. And I think we call it plantation something. I think plantation road, whatever. It's around here. And I just spoke that stuff all the time, right? But I still, even then, I knew it was something. And if I saw, and my definition then, because I was always fight. I didn't hang out with no white boys. I was always fighting white boys all the time. I was in the military, right? I put no shit with them at all. I hung out with one when I first got into Germany. They called me Alphabet, because he used to hang out with me, because we came over the same time from the same basic training, right? And he was from Poland or something, nobody could say his name, so they called him Alphabet. And so he's always hanging around me all the time, right? But he didn't bother me, and I ain't, so he caused no trouble. I get a fight all the time. He'd jump in and help me. So whatever. But anyway, my thing was, if you didn't have nappy hair, you wasn't black. And so when I went out to the plantation, whatever we call it, I forget. And when there was black folks up there and their hair wasn't nappy, I ain't nothing to do with them. That was my way of thinking at that time. I didn't know about demons, so. I'm saying, our people know about demons. And we've been set by demons. That's why it says, what's your name? My name is Legion. I told you, and we're many. See? That's Farrakhan. Louis Eugene Grounds and White backwards. But he tried to say, oh, no, Walcott was not your father. That's him. They're demons. They get back to that story about on this rock, remember Peter, I built my church. He said temple church, and the gates of hell would not prevail against it. I said, do you read these things? You pay attention, you're assuming what you wanted. If something prevails, that means it will stay strong, right? If it doesn't prevail, that means it fails. Something that doesn't prevail fails. If you don't prevail, you failed. So it says, on this rock I build my church, the gates of hell. What's the purpose of the gates of hell? To keep people in hell. So you got the church, you got a gate between the church, and you got hell. You got a gate between the church, and you got hell. The gate was designed to keep people in hell, right? Away from the church. But if the gate doesn't prevail, that means the people in hell gets out into the church. That's exactly what it's saying. Because Farrakhan is also Peter. Because remember, Peter was cutting off the ears off as soon as Joshua, which is his real name, was made him hear. He was cut, so he was no damn good. No matter how you call it, Peter, Aaron, Farrakhan, no goddamn good. That's how he said, how you know, well, that's another story. So on this rock I build my church. The gates of hell will not prevail. And they don't prevail, that means they fail. That means the gates of the people of hell gets into this, fills the church up. That's why I say my name is Legion and we're many. So that's what we got. Those three categories. One's a hidden enemy, one's an even deeper hidden enemy, because this one over here is worse than demons. He's more of an enemy than this one. He more attacks you, right? He knows more about you than this one does, because he's just like you, he's just corrupt. He knows the world's life, but he knows you. See? He knows more about you than this one does. See? And the point is, it tells you, you got to worry about this one going through tribulation. You have to worry about this one going through tribulation because he's gone. They get sifted out by the Son of Man before tribulation. But this one actually goes tribulation with you. It tells you. It says they're going to cling to you for blandishment. Yeah, brother, I'm with you and everything else. And it tells you, says, at that time, they'll wake up, some everlasting life, some everlasting shame and department. That means, that means they make it out to the tribulation, they make it out too. But everlasting shame and department. See? That's them. And they're very dangerous. Here it is.
11. 32 And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries, but the people that do know their God shall be strong, and do exploits. 33 And they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil, many days. 34 Now when they shall fall, they shall be holpen with a little help, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries. 35 And some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them, and to purge, and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed.
See your brother right here? See? So they do wickedly against the covenant shall corrupt by flatteries. They do wickedly against the covenant. What's the covenant? Going home. Man, I like this world life. So they do wickedly against the covenant shall be corrupt by flatteries. But the people that know their God will be strong and exploits. That's the ones that's original. Hey, I'm getting the hell out of here. See, they should be strong and do exploits. They got two groups that's going through tribulation together. And they understand, and they that understand people shall instruct many. And it shall be fought by sword, by flame, by captivity, by spoil. They'll be under conflict, they'll be under attack. Many days. I'm telling you, brother, this is unprecedented. You just got to see it. Now they shall fall, shall be helped with little help. but many shall cleave them with flatteries. So how do they cleave with them with flatteries? They're not being rejected. They cleave, so they're not rejected because they look like them. But they say, yeah, I'm with you, bro. I like that angel, man. Yeah, man. I got it, man. The master coming. They're going to be, see? They'll be playing along. And you ain't going to be recognized because otherwise they wouldn't be able to cling to you, would they? See? And some of them of understanding shall fall to try, and some of them of understanding shall fall to try them and to purge and make them white. If the time will end, because yet for a time point. Read this carefully. And some of them of understanding shall fall to try them and to purge. In other words, and to make them white. In other words, the ones that's flatteries, they're gonna have some little trouble because remember, they can't really achieve Hajj, but they can fake it. But they won't be happy because remember, it's against their nature. But they're gonna try to hold on because first of all, you're gonna have food, and they know what to say and what to do. They just don't like it. They got the nature to do it. They just don't like doing it. You understand what I'm saying? So they can cling to you, right? But they won't be happy doing it. But they're doing it because they want to survive. Strong motivation, right? It says some of you are going to be deceived by that, and you're going to say, hey, you're going to try to help them because you think they're just having little difficulties. See, the purge is to make them white. Why? Because we use white here because, right, they're a little corrupt. You want to make white, and now you're white like white folks, like clean. Because they're gonna have some trouble, and you're gonna think that trouble is just because they're just having trouble, but they ain't having trouble. They're saying they diggers. They just hold on because they want to survive, right? See what I'm saying? But it says that some of them understanding shall fall to try and to purge. So you're gonna mess around, hurt yourself, trying to get them to Hajj. To be happy, be positive, and do its place. Read that, understand that? So that's the problem they're going to cause. That's what's a deeper problem, because you have to deal with them through tribulation. They don't cause you a lot of trouble, because they ain't for real, but they're going to pretend they're for real, and they'll betray you. Because remember, they love this world's life, and you got the demons out there, 17 million strong, that's fighting for this. They want this world like they fight for it. And they're gonna be adverse to you, because they're gonna be a battle between us and them. They're gonna try to get you. Hey man, come on, bro, let's work together, man. We can take this country. Hell with you, we out of here. See, we went out of here. Nah, man, come on, work with us, man. 17 million of them, 17 million of us. Right now, you got these people down on the fence. They're hanging with us. Right, some are gonna hang with the demons. They hang with us, and they think, hey man, they see the demons might be strong or whatever. They betray us. Run over to them. That's why it's so dangerous. Because they really want this world's life. Right? But you got food, because the master's probably gonna give you food. That's the only thing help you're gonna get from him. They said, manna from heaven. Because you got to come through it on your own. Like a lot of Muhammad said, every tub has cells on bottom. So you have food. Remember, they leave out here. They don't want to leave. But they're under attack. They got food. They want protection. And the demons over there, they're fighting for this. But they don't really fit in with the demons. They last world's life, but they don't fit in with the demons. See, because they corrupt, see, right? So they really fit in with us because their nature's similar to ours, but they last world's life. See the confusion? And that's what you got to deal with, the tribulation. It says some of you are going to have fall trying to help them because you don't recognize them. and the sacrifice.
Then said I, Our Lord God, behold, my soul hath not been polluted, for from my youth up even till now have I not eaten of that which dieth of itself, or is torn in pieces, neither came there abominable flesh into my mouth. 15 Then he said unto me, Lo, I have given thee cow's dung for man's dung, and thou shalt prepare thy bread therewith.
See, brothers and sisters, this is talking about the Son of Man here. That's not Master Muhammad. It says he would be forced to eat cow shit. This is a sacrifice he's making to get our people out of here. He's not even a Levite. You don't have to do this. Nobody forced me to do this. I didn't ask for a dime. So I don't even want to do it. But it needs to be done. And I said it's mostly sisters that the reason I'm doing it. Right? But a promise was made and a promise be kept. But this is one of the things you have to suffer. It's talking about doing the true Holocaust. That was a fact. But it's talking about now. It's like just like what's the word I want to use? Just to give you a feel what you have to put up with. And then these clowns right here, I'm the son of Shem, I'm the son of man, America. See, that's why they're going to be put down so hard. But not only they going to have to pretend it's somebody not, because remember, that's false Israel, they're going down hard. Now, it says, let me read what I said earlier. Men's hearts filled with fear at those things come upon earth, powers heaven be shaken. Because the devastation that's about to take place over there is going to be so dramatic. Especially with false Israel. It says, and fathers will eat sons, and sons be fathers. They'll be eating on flesh. They'll be drinking blood. And it's going to be broadcast all over the world. They have drones flying over with cameras showing, because they're going to be, American Britain's almost totally out of the Middle East. It's almost totally out. I said that would be happening. That would happen. Farrakhan said that. None of the people, none even saw that coming. Now Farrakhan's like, man, God told me there would be war in the Middle East, and start conventional, end up in nuclear. Bullshit. God never told me. It's this thing. He's pulling shot his ass again, right? But anyway, he's gonna be eating that shit in a minute. Literally. But it's gonna be so bad. And it says it's gonna be so bad that people's heart be having strokes and heart attacks here. Anticipation was coming. That's how bad it's going to be here in a few more days, brother and sister. And they say it's coming here at lightning speed. Shock wave is coming at lightning speed. Back to this. So this is sign of things. And so and then some of these people like Son of Shannon, not only they pretend they're stealing, they're all before me thieves and liars. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. But then they want to take your money. Like Farrakhan. So watch what happens. Watch what happen to these clowns. Watch what happen to them. When the Son of Man be thrown in jail, homeless, or eat shit. Okay? That's all that's in the scripture. That's something I made up.
Thou shalt drink also water by measure, the 6th part of an hin, from time to time shalt thou drink. 12 And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man, in their sight. 13 And the Lord said, Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. 14 Then said I, Our Lord God, behold, my soul hath not been polluted, for from my youth up even till now have I not eaten of that which dieth of itself, or is torn in pieces, neither came there abominable flesh into my mouth. 15 Then he said unto me, Lo, I have given thee cow's dung for man's dung, and thou shalt prepare thy bread therewith. 16 Moreover he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight, and with care, and they shall drink water by measure, and with astonishment. 17 That they may want bread and water, and be astonied one with another, and consume away for their iniquity.
Hey, brothers and sisters, see, this is scripture. It says that our people be made to eat human shit. And we supposed to forget that? It says right there. And shall they were done come out of man. Human shit. That wasn't just a punishment. That was your normal eat meal. For hundreds of years. See, Farrakhan's one of them, because they know when they say, well, just forget that. So I saw our relatives and everything. See, when you listen to this shit, first of all, you say our relatives and everything didn't mean shit. They suffered. Because if they could come back right now and see you act like you had, they would cut your throat themselves. They said, man, we went through all that shit, now you have a bitch bumping with them and everything else. I'm not talking about shitling. Shitling is pork shit. They said human shit. Now, how does that happen? I'll tell you, give an example how it happened. You out in the field. They didn't bring food out there for you. They work your ass 24/7, and it takes terror to maintain a system like that. So you out there, you hungry. Well, you get whooped for even saying that. You know, you look up, I should show you a picture of it. Look up a cow chip. Look what it looks like. That's where the idea of potato chips, they never had that language before. Potato chips, corn chips. Because they did call cow chips back then. And so if you was out in the field and they had cows around, nigga, go eat that cow chip. And that was you ate. That's all you had to eat. That's if the cows were around, the cow chips. So all you bunch you get together and fight for that cow chip. Starve your hunger. That's what they do. Now, if there were no cow chips around, right? Or if there wasn't enough, right? I'm hungry. Hey, man, that nigga over here just took a shit, didn't he? Okay, there's your food. That's what's telling you. They shit, that's it. Oh, that's all you, that's what you had to eat. For hundreds of years, they ain't gonna tell you that. The Bible's telling you that. And they say, oh, that's false Israel. Well, okay, if that was false Israel, you think they did us worse, better than they did them? Okay, say this isn't us. They're having false Israel. But you mean they treat us better than they treated them? You think so? Because we went through the same process. So they say, oh, well, we treat them niggas, we ain't gonna treat them as bad as we treat the Jews. Think so? Chitlins was a delight. It was like, man, get some candy or something. Appetizer. It was pork, at least it was pork shit. And they fed that to you raw too. Raw. You wouldn't know. You in the house, the rocking chair like that shit, fireplace like they show you in these damn stupid ass movies. Cause I know, and this was favors just about over, because I got relatives in North Carolina, and when my mother was alive, we used to always go down there during the holidays, stuff like that there, right? And so I talked to the old folks, and they said, you the only one to talk to us, and I'm a child, right? My mother passed, I was 9, so I was about 7, 8. They said, you the only one to ask us questions. So he told me, he says, I didn't know about slavery and that kind of stuff, but he told me, he says, oh no, we're slaves, and we ended up being sharecroppers or whatever. He says that that little house he was living in was a small house, white house. He said that was slave master house. It was small. It wasn't a big house. I guess had maybe 3 bedrooms in or whatever, right? And that was slave master house. Really? I said, where'd y'all see that? They showed me this little room. It's about the size of a cubicle, not even a cubicle. You know, you go to a, you go a stall in the bathroom. You go to the bottom stall. It's about big as that. He said they would lock him in there at night. All his whole family would lock him at night. No floor, anything. I want to keep one because all of them are together. And to keep him from running away. He says they were shitting everything on each other because they had no place. I mean, what else? That's what they would do. And this was at the end of the so-called slave whatever, during that time. I said, this. It's worse than that, really. Had he shit, so right there, thou shalt eat, and thou shalt bake it with song and come out of man's. This is what talking about the punishment. This is talking about your regular to eat. Thou shalt drink also water by measure. 6 part of it of him from time to time shalt thou drink. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes. Thou shalt bake it with dung that comes out of the man. That means that's your regular meal. Eating shit, some other. Then you eat shit, and then you shit the shit that you eat. Can you imagine that? You eat shit, then you take a shit, you shit the shit that you from the shit you ate, and then you gotta eat that. That's what it says right now. Tell them lies right there. Surely shall eat their defiled bread amongst the Gentiles. Whether I shall drive them. It's right here. And then Son of Man said, you have to do the same thing. Say, wait a minute, really? So they said, okay, you're going to have to eat shit, but you're going to have to eat human shit. You have to eat cow shit. It says right there. I'm forgiving them. See, when you do that, you accept their religion, you accept their names, you accept all this shit, right? What you're saying is that you ain't worth shit. And you, everything said about you, true, you ain't worth shit. Because they're better than you. Your shit didn't mean anything. So you rejected who you are. You rejected who you are, your relatives, for them.
He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. Like one from whom men hide their faces, he was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he took up our infirmities and carried our sorrows, yet we considered him stricken, struck down by God, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed.
What do you mean by that, brothers and sisters? By his stripes we're healed. By his efforts. One thing he suffered. He suffered to bring you home. And you complain about it. Complain with grief. But they despise him, they reject him. He went on good. They move, they talk. Okay? He's cursed by God. But he suffered because your resistance. But he didn't complain, he kept on. He kept fighting your resistance until he finally came around. And he healed you by his suffering. That's the true Son of Man, not Farrakhan. He didn't get rich off of you like Farrakhan has. Lying to you, asking for money, all that kind of stuff. That's the sacrifice he made for you. And he asked you for anything for it. And they say, "Oh, I'm just come over here and follow me." I don't want you to follow me. So what am I getting out of this? He getting Facebook. Well, I ain't got a million followers. I ain't trying to get a million followers. You ask me anybody subscribe? You ask me see me do anything like that? Ask anybody for money? Ask anybody to come over here? Well, you come over here to listen to me. No, you see me doing all right? No. Because I know what it takes. It takes resonance, constant resonance, keep information out. And eventually, it's going to break through and it'll get you back home. And I ain't asked for anything. And nothing for it. I make the sacrifice. Who else can say that? And I'm not blaming you for not listening. I know you won't listen until the four winds blow. But that don't mean you stopping. And I'm going 24/7. Every day you see a mirror. Unless I'm just totally incapacitated. I've been sick a couple of times. Tried to poison me. Threw me in jail. Demon out for 3 years. I keep on going. I'm not asking anything for it. And if you give me anything, I'm not asking you to kiss my ass or nothing. You want to hang with those other people, hang with them. That's a sacrifice. That made ultimate sacrifice.
He was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. He was led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is silent, so he did not open his mouth. / by oppression and judgment he was taken away, and who can recount his descendants? For he was cut off from the land of the living, he was stricken for the transgression of my people. / he was assigned a grave with the wicked, and with a rich man in his death, although he had done no violence, nor was any deceit in his mouth. But woe to that man by whom he is betrayed.
He's making these sacrifices for Levites. He didn't ask me anything for it. Sacrificed 36 years of his life. Totally. Sacrificed his family, everything. 100%. Then you got some fool who want to betray him. What do you think will happen to him? Yes. But woe to that man by whom he is betrayed. Betrayed for what? We're trying to help his people? Okay, I'm going to close out in a minute, brothers and sisters. Right. Now, this is, again, before the angel, you had no idea who's who, what's what. And what I'm showing here is, I'll give you an example. When the angel tells who everybody is. That's the light, which you didn't have before the angel came along. So, you take, your story about, they put these stories for a reason. The story of Noah and his son. Now, Noah says, get on the ark, boy. I ain't got no ark. So if his son bleeds, his son didn't bleed. Somebody the ark was his only salvation, he got an ark. Now I'm going to high mountain. So he went to high mountain, and God said, let them alone, me no good. Slam the door. Went high mountain and drowned. Because or you go high mountain, why would he spend time in the ark? Got people like that now. They say they're smart. See, dumb people are stupid people, right? They don't know they're stupid, or they wouldn't be stupid. A dog will know it's a dog. A blind person, right? They don't know other people can see. How do they know? They can't see unless they, what you see can't see. They're born blind. They have no idea what sight is. And they don't know what that is. Other people can see them. And so you can see these dumb people, these stupid people, ignorant people. They don't realize you can see them. So, because if your eyes are open, once your eyes are open, you're not going to, you've been blind all your life, and all of a sudden now you can see, You gonna close your eyes, go blind? Who would do that? Who would do that? Make any sense? You wouldn't do that. Only way you would do that is if the doctor came and opened your eyes, and you still couldn't see, but you just wanted to make the doctor feel good. Yeah, I can see, doc. I can see, doc. But you really can't. So you go back and leave out, and you leave out and stumbling around. Why are you stumbling around? Oh man, I'm just getting used to my eyesight. You understand, brothers and sisters? So that's one of the things why you can identify people, because people come here, I run them away for that same reason, because they come here. I know what's going to happen. They come here, right, and they claim their eyes open, and then they leave. Well, you wouldn't leave here if your eyes were open. You were just lying. You was reflecting. Oh yeah, man, I got it, man. I'm preaching whatever. Because you never saw it. You're pretending. Because nowhere in the world you go back out to the darkness once you saw the light. So you never saw light to begin with. You're just lying and pretending. So there's people like that. And other people too, right? Hey man, I'm gonna just go back to Africa. Where you going to Africa? I need to be on that ark. I ain't listening to you. Okay, you think all turns gonna go? Come on, brothers and sisters. So I'm gonna go this close, brothers and sisters. See here. Now that's Gog. That's Magog. You know who Magog was before, and they don't know who Magog is. You guys talk. Nobody out there knows who Magog is unless they steal from this. They don't know. That's Magog. Came out of Europe, Britain. 5 years ago, it broke out of the abyss. Chapter 20 is their history, but you didn't know before I told you either. Second go on, sister. And this is God. God came out of Magog. Magog means mother of God. God can make God come out of the bottomless pit, see the whole world. That's American Britain. And they were in slavery. God was in slavery. Magog had a part in that too. Just to explain who everybody is, brothers and sisters. Devils. And God did it. Devils make God, and God get devils. They enslaved us. America. Like Muhammad identified the devils. He didn't identify demons. He didn't identify the niggers. He didn't identify the dragon. He only identified the devils. And demon. Legion. Louis Eugene Grounds, and right backwards. Scientology. Angel explains all these things, brothers and sisters. That's what he produced here, see? After the way he catered to niggers and demons, but he used Elijah as a bait to draw the followers of Elijah. You think the followers of Elijah is turned into niggers. Scientology, guys praying, go to calf is Sunniism. I can prove it. You don't know, he couldn't tell you who golden calf is. The Sunni can't tell you who golden calf is. And say angel explains everything. There's Wallace. See Farrakhan right with him. Wallace they got rid of Nation of Islam. Farrakhan was Wallace's top preacher, top minister. Right together, he's happy. Got rid of Nation of Islam. So as called Benelians. Golden calf. And words goes golden calf. Sunniism. Then Master Muhammad comes along with his technical wheel. Suma comes on with the angel. You got false Israel. Now, false Israel is primarily, not totally, but enslaving us, because we the employees, mostly major businesses, everything owned by them. And they get rich off our labor, off our identity. So have us there as employees. Employees of just modern day slavery in the industrial age. False Israel. That's Satan. False Israel, Satan. And you got the jinn. That's the jinn. Arabs. So the Arabs is the jinn. Okay? And now we get home, see the great army, take them out. Take our land back. Then you got the leopard or goat, China, India, 10 horns, the dragon, right? They're going to try to control the oil as we take our land back. We're back home, we're in control, we're back in the driver's seat. They come and try to take up. We got to control the oil, we shut the oil down. That's whole reality through oil. When we shut the oil down, so retaliate's going. Bring out retaliate. That's our reality in. They're going to try to come in, because the whole reality is based on oil. Without they collapse, they will come in, try to take it. Okay, brothers and sisters. I'm going to close out here. See this lion dog here? Follows the devil, we can prove it. He says it so. He's true. While the war is going on, that's he be taken down. Read Exodus. He comes to his camp. He separate those who seek the message of the covenant from his followers, and they wiped out him and his followers. The lion dogs follow the devil again. He said God told him to keep his mouth shut, but yet he's still talking. The lion dog, he won't be around much longer, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa. to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair. Because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight. The hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you so busy frying it. That's why you so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically, because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion. When the Muslims were alive, I'll say it again. When the Muslims were alive, you dead as hell now on both sides.
Yes, sir, brother minister. Yes, we are. Yes, sir. That's real, brother minister. Both sides. That's real.
Wake us up, dear Apostle.
When we was alive, we set up schools.
That's right.
When we were alive, we had supermarkets.
Right. That's right.
We owned buildings.
That's right.
We owned farmland.
That's right.
We were busy doing something, hiring our people.
That's right.
Well, I'm telling the Muslims, damn it, if you don't come alive, you will die like you are. And I will say, thank you, Allah, because if they're not doing nothing on top of the earth, let the worms eat their ass.
Them Jews didn't want to hear nothing he had to say. He gave up on them. And that's why it's written in the scripture, I know you. You are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye shall do. He was a liar from the beginning and a murderer, and he abode not in the truth, and he's the father of lies. My word has no place in you. He gave up on him. He knew he couldn't reform them devils. And I'm telling you today, we can't reform these white folks. So ain't no use in getting it in your heart and your mind that we're going to reform white people. 1 out of 1,000 they believe. But hell, why waste the time? Let God do the searching. I ain't got no time to search for no cracker that believes in him. No. Don't think hard of me. No, sir. You tender-hearted, foolish brothers and sisters of mine. Don't think hard of me. No, sir. What the hell do I look like? Going to them that killed Jesus, rejected Moses, rejected Muhammad and all the prophets. How the hell am I any better than they? Am I going to convert them? I'm not a damn fool. No, I'll spend my life knocking your head against the truth because I know you're going to come up. You may not like what I say, but you can't argue with me. I'll whoop your head coming and going with the truth. You just don't like me, but that's all you can say. You may not like me, but you can't argue. All right. That brother telling the truth. What do I look like and what do you look like? Sniffling up behind some white people trying to reform them. But all the prophets have tried. And they ain't reformed none of them yet. And the few that they reform, God's mercy is over them. He will guide them. He will protect them if it pleases him. But we ain't got no time thinking about converting no white people. That's it. The door of mercy on them is closing. In fact, it ain't but about that big. So couldn't nothing but a spirit among them get through that crack. And if Reagan has his way, he's going to take all of them down to hell with him. And I hope he does. They deserve death, brother. They don't deserve no damn mercy. No mercy. They didn't show us none. They don't show us none today. What the hell do we look like praying to God for them? Your damn tongue should be snapped out of your throat if you open your mouth to pray for these bastards that put us in this condition. You call them bastards because they're the only illegitimate child of the original man. They are the real bastards of the planet. You don't owe them nothing. No sympathy. Whatever God do to them today, they justly deserve it for what they put on us and our fathers. Don't you think so? If you don't, get the hell out of here. Go somewhere else where they preach sympathy for them bastards. But not me. Don't pray for them. Don't ask God no mercy for them. Ask God to double the cup on them. Because it's their world that destroyed you and your baby. And it's them today that got our brothers and sisters in South Africa can't breathe. And the same bastards in South Africa is in Washington, D.C. and in Chicago, Illinois.
So on Christmas night, there ain't no damn good cheer for them. Peace on earth, hell. We come with a sword. Goodwill to you. And you about to forfeit yours. Because you trifling people. Hard as hell to save. Because your heart is more for your enemy than for your own self. I was thinking about Mississippi. Yes, sir. I'm thinking about Brother Abdul Aziz Muhammad and his body.
They fear. That's right. I don't have no army. I just know the truth. And I'm here to separate the good Jews from the satanic Jews. Yes, yes, yes! This is just the beginning, banning me from a social platform.
That's right.
I use that platform with respect.
That's right.
I never allowed those who follow me to become vile as those who speak evil of us. So I am dangerous, not to you, unless you feel that Father Pfleger's invitation to me may hurt Saint Sabina. They don't have the power to hurt Saint Sabina if you don't give them that power. I thank you for listening to me. I have not said one word of hate.
No, sir.
I do not hate Jewish people. Not one that is with me has ever committed a crime against the Jewish people, black people, white people, no matter what your color is. As long as you don't attack us, we don't bother you. So you met me tonight. Social media, you met me tonight. I plead with the rulers, let the truth be taught. I plead because this is the only thing that will make America not great again, make America truly great. If you allow me to tell the truth that God has revealed to his servant, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that he taught me, we can save America from her destructive fall. I'm not a misogynist.
No, sir. No, sir.
I'm not a homophobe. Don't be angry with me. if I stand up on God's word. But I don't hate my brothers and sisters who have been exposed to the great deception, taking the word God is love, and I love my brother. In fact, we kissed when I came up here. And this is not queer. This is straight up love. So from tonight, go home. I'm not going to ask you to let them put you in jail, what they call Facebook jail. We have a teaching about the maker of the white race. His followers were put in jail. I wonder, is it Facebook jail? And everywhere they looked, there was another one. Till all the jails got filled up. And that's when the president said, I think I better go and start a dialogue with Farrakhan. Because this false mess to give you civil rights and take it back, you owe us. And I'm here, by God's permission, to tell all of you what justice looks like. It's not a white woman, a TV show, and a nice car, and a nice home. I got all of that too. But I ain't robbed nobody.
That's right.
I love you. I love you because God loves you and wants to free you from the grip of Satan, that we may build a righteous world. And Father Pfleger will be in that righteous world. You can believe it. He's a true servant of Jesus the Christ. Thank you for listening. To tell all of you what justice looks like. It's not a white woman, a TV show, and a nice car, and a nice home. I got all of that too. But I ain't robbed nobody.
I believe that America can be beautiful. How can America be made beautiful? Now, family, listen. My brother Imam Wadafuddin and I have had disagreement. But his followers and mine have never given each other as much as a bloody nose. Because in spite of our differences, there's a deep love in us. We don't like the things about our nation that is not good,
But I don't want to live anywhere else. I want America to be made right. I don't want to see America go the way of Rome and Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. But why won't she go that way? If the men of religion and the women of religion keep silent.